Google Analytics 4 has an interesting feature called Modify Event. In this video, I will explain what it is and how to benefit from it. Hey, my name is Julius and welcome to Analytics Mania YouTube channel. If you're new here, I teach people how to work with Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics. So if you want to stay up to date with GA4, consider subscribing. Modify events in GA4 allows you to modify incoming events. For example, if some hard-coded tracking code sends an event with the incorrect name, you can fix it directly from the interface of Google Analytics 4. Also, I will show you several practical examples of where this feature is useful. So, let's take a look. Here is a situation. Let's say that I have a website and on it there are several forms that I want to track with Google Analytics 4. And let's imagine that for some reason one of those forms is tracked not with Google Tag Manager, but it is tracked with the hard-coded GA4 setup. So all the forms that are tracked with Google Tag Manager, they send the generate lead event, which is exactly what I want. However, that one form with the hard-coded setup, that one is sending the event of which name is lead generate. And in this case, it is not convenient because I would like to have all form submissions under the same generate lead event. So in this case, what I can do is that I can use modify event feature and I can rename all the incoming lead generate event and change the name of this event to generate lead. So let's take a look. How can we do that? First of all, you should go to the events section on the sidebar of Google Analytics 4. Then at the top of this page, you should click modify event. And here you should create a new rule that will be looking for the lead generate event and will rename it to generate lead. So click create. And here you have to fill in several fields. First of all, the modification name. This one is for internal use and it will be displayed in the list of all your modify events rules. So you can name it something like that. And then you have to enter the matching conditions. So what kind of events do we want to modify? And in this case, we want to modify all events of which event name equals to lead generate. And in my case, that is all, but in your case, maybe you want to add some additional parameters so you can add additional conditions. And now let's configure the output. So in this case, we want to change the event name from this to event name of this, which is generate lead. Click create. So now let's check what we will see in the debug view of Google Analytics 4. By the way, keep in mind that GA4 changes very often. So there's a chance that maybe debug view or some other pages, they will be moved to some other section of the interface, but just keep in mind that debug view is there. So if you cannot locate it right here, just keep looking and you will eventually find it. Now let's go to the debug view and then I will submit that form that has the incorrect event name. So I temporarily had paused the video. Now I have unpaused it. I've submitted the form because we see that success message. And now let's go to the debug view of Google Analytics 4 and see what is the name of the event. And here we see that generate lead event. If you click it, you will then see the parameters that were tracked together with that event. So everything looks good because instead of lead generate, we now have the event generate lead. Now, the reason why this generate lead event is green is because I have marked that event as a conversion. And you can do that by going to conversions and then new conversion event. And here I entered generate lead. And then you will see that this event is now marked as conversion. Another example where modify event feature might be useful is related to the automatic event tracking of Google Analytics 4. Because if you go to analytics and then admin and then go to data streams and then click on your data stream, you will see a section called enhanced measurement. And if you have this section enabled, there's a very high chance that you will see this part right here, which is outbound clicks. So what does it mean is that Google Analytics 4 is capable of tracking link clicks that redirect visitors to third-party websites. So let's take a look. Now I am on a page where I have a link that will open my website, but that website is on another domain. So if we, for example, click on this link, you will see that the URL belongs to a different domain. Now, if I go to Tag Assistant and if I click on this Google Analytics measurement ID, I will see that there is an event which is called outbound clicks. And if I click it, I will see that click event was sent to Google Analytics 4. In fact, if I go to the debug view of Google Analytics 4 right now, then what I will see is that there is an event which is called click. And if you click it, you will then see that it has one parameter that says outbound and its value is true. So in other words, this is a click and it was an outbound click. However, personally, I'm not a fan of this event name, which is click. It's so generic. For example, if you look at the events report in GA4, just seeing the word click is not very descriptive. I would much rather have the name of this event changed to outbound click, not just general click. So again, we can do that with the help of modify event. So let's go to events, modify event, and then create. And then let's name this event proper name for the outbound, something like that. And then again, we have to enter some matching conditions. First of all, we're looking for the event where event name equals to click. But again, this is too generic. Maybe in the future, there will be another event with the same name, but it will not be outbound. Therefore, we have to add another condition and we have to enter the parameter outbound equals true. So if the event is click and outbound parameter equals to true, then we want to change the name of the event to outbound click. And also one more thing, in our case, we already see that this is an outbound click. So in general, we don't need this outbound parameter anymore. That is why we can add modification and enter again outbound. And if you leave this field empty, it means that this parameter will be removed. So let's click create and let's check what we see in the debug view of Google Analytics 4. By the way, keep in mind that this modify event feature does not apply to historic events that you have already collected. It applies only from the moment when you create that rule. Now let's go to the debug view once again. Then I will go to the website where I have that outbound link. Now I will click it and let's check what will happen. And here is our outbound click event. And if I click it, you will see that there is no outbound parameter because I have removed it. Also, one more thing that I forgot to mention is that it might take several minutes for these changes to go live. So be patient. If you cannot see your new event name right away, then it is a good practice to refresh the page, this page, and then wait several more minutes in the debug view. And then for the end of this video, let's say that I just want to do one more change. There is no particular reason for that. I just want to show you one feature that maybe you will find it useful in the future. So let's say that I want to rename this parameter, which is link URL, and I want to rename it for this particular event to, let's say, I don't know, element URL. So let's take a look. How can we do that? First of all, it will be easier for me to duplicate the view because I want to keep this view open. And then let's go to events, modify event, and then I will edit that existing outbound click rule. And here I want to do one more thing. I want to add new parameter of which name is element URL, and its value should be not something static like, test or something like that, but I want to insert the value of some actual parameter that came together with the event. And in this case, that is link URL. So I will copy this and then I will insert it surrounded by double square brackets. So like this, and then like this. So this means that from the incoming event, Google Analytics 4 will take this parameter and will insert its value right here. And then after this element URL change occurs, I want to get rid of that link URL from the event. That is why I will enter link URL and leave the field empty once again. So let's check. Our goal right now is to have not the link URL, but element URL parameter. Again, I'm doing this for no particular reason. This is just for demonstration purposes. But maybe in the future, you will deal with some situation where this knowledge will be valuable. So now I will click this outbound link once again. Then I will go to the debug view of Google Analytics 4, and now I will be waiting for the outbound click event. And here is the event. I will click it, and my expectation right now is to have the element URL parameter, and here it is, and its value is the URL that was clicked, and I don't want to see the link URL parameter, and there is none. So it looks like everything worked properly. And that is how you should use the modify event feature in Google Analytics 4. Remember, this does not affect the data that you have collected in the past. This applies only to new events that will be sent after the modification rule is created. If you found this video useful, hit the thumbs up button below the video because it helps me continue working on this channel. Also, if you want to learn more about Google Tag Manager or Google Analytics 4, consider subscribing to this channel. My name is Julius, this is Analytics Mania, and I'll see you in the next video.